It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And here we are on Tuesday. Hope your Monday went well. I think mine went pretty well. I don't remember much of it, but I think I got some stuff done. Sarah, you?
Yeah, it felt very productive.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's good for a Monday. That's all you can expect.
It's all you can ask for. We survived to tell about
news.
Today is a special election day in two Greene County towns, Willard and Fair Grove. In Willard, voters are going to decide who will be the next mayor after two men tied at the polls back in April. Will it be Sam Snyder or Troy Smith? This runoff after both of those guys got 349 votes apiece last time. So now there's a runoff. And in Fair Grove, it's not exactly a runoff, but there is a special election today for Ward 2. Only those can vote who live in Ward 2. And they are going to decide who will be the next alderman. There was a ballot mix-up back in April, and election officials say it could have potentially compromised the integrity of the election process. So they are doing that for today. Big day for both of those small towns, and we'll keep you posted on results tomorrow morning.
Runoff? Sorry. It was well after the fact, but I didn't want to interrupt. But
sort of an insight.
Can't ever hear that without doing that.
All right. Apparently, there is a big need for climate-controlled storage, and Springfield is filling a need. Cold Zone Incorporated is investing close to $60 million in the Springfield Underground. On Thursday of this week, the cold storage company will break ground on a new 170,000 square foot facility in Springfield's Partnership Industrial Center West. They will offer different temperature zones for different products that need to remain cold or frozen.
All right, that's a big development. A lot of money for sure, man. Case with major ties to Springfield was just before the United States Supreme Court. The case has to do with John Q. Hammond's trust. The Supreme Court ruled against the JQH trust, which had claimed that the quarterly fees the company has to pay to the U.S. trustees program in a bankruptcy case are excessive. The High Court's decision was a 6-3 vote. The ruling reversed a lower court's ruling that would have given Hammonds a $2.5 million refund. So that ain't happening like they thought. Interesting that a Springfield case goes to the Supreme Court.
I know. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Hey, if you live in Ozark, then you know it is road construction season. It is well underway there. Not only on 65, if you drive on there through Ozark, you know that work is being done. It'll slow you down. But right now, some surface streets are being worked on as well. Road improvement projects underway on 7 streets in town.
Wow.
Do what?
7.
I know.
That's
7.
a lot. Everywhere you go, But yes, you're right. 'Tis the season.
7 streets. The work has been going on for almost a week now, so you're more than halfway through it. It'll continue through Friday of this week. City reminding residents not to park on sections of, here we go, East Diane Street, North 6th Avenue, which is different from 6th Street in Ozark. There are both. 6th Avenue, Jackson Street, South 7th Avenue, South 6th Avenue, East Hartley Street, and South Candace Street.
It's a lot.
Road work is underway in Ozark for sure.
All right. Kansas is putting up a fight, as we knew they would, primarily a financial fight to try to get the Kansas City Chiefs and potentially the Royals over the state line. Kansas lawmakers are telling their constituents, hey, let's help them build and fund a new stadium over here. And then our state will get millions of dollars worth of income taxes from players and coaches instead of them going to Missouri. So today, lawmakers are having a special session in Kansas. They're planning to authorize state bonds to help the Chiefs and Royals finance new stadiums in Kansas. So this is interesting. I didn't know exactly how the income worked, but here's what I found out. Professional athletes and entertainers who come through the stadiums, they pay income taxes not only in their home state, but also other states where they perform or play if those states impose income taxes. So Missouri, just so you know, collected $34 million in income taxes from professional athletes during the current budget year.
That's not including performers. That's just athletes.
Yep. Athletes. Yeah. So I think that's interesting because I wasn't sure how that worked, honestly. I mean, obviously there's a ton of revenue from having games, from having ball games, because you have traffic and hotels and restaurants and bars and so
all of that. Yeah, it's a fair amount of money when you add it all up, but it also costs taxpayers a fair amount of money. So
for sure it does. Yes. Which is the problem that Missourians,
Jackson County. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the Chiefs, their training camp schedule is out, and you can go watch them practice if you are a super fan. The team will be practicing again at Missouri Western State University in St. Joseph. Tickets to most training camp sessions are free to the public, but you do have to register. They also have 2 days that are set aside exclusively for season ticket holders, and then they have 3 days set aside where there will be $5 admission. So if you want to go, you can sign up on the app. You have to download the Chiefs mobile app, and starting at 10 o'clock this Thursday morning is when you can start signing up to go watch practice. And again, you do have to sign up, even though some of the days are free.
That's a lot of fun. It's like going to spring training for baseball. It's just fun to see the team in a different setting, atmosphere, and you get closer to the players, those sorts of venues typically. So, yeah.
I mean, Ethan's friends with many of the Cardinals players now.
Yeah. Well, I did more than just go to spring training. I was in fantasy camp, Sarah. So they named me by name. They told me where to play in the field.
And just in case anyone cares to know, Ethan is batting 1,000 against major league pitchers.
Well, I don't know that we need to get into all of that, but that is a fact. That is inarguable. You can look at my jersey over there. That one right there is my jersey from fantasy camp, and my stats and some pictures are right below. So right there. So
yep.
If you ever come over.
Was that the coolest assignment that you ever had in media?
No, second coolest, I think.
After what, the inauguration, presidential inauguration?
No. Writing
After
in an
what?
Writing in an F-16 Thunderbird.
Oh, yes, that too. Okay.
Yeah, that was by far the coolest.
Yeah. There was a girl who called me recently, and she was like, "Hey, my dad," she didn't know me from Adam. "My dad felt like I should call you because I want to go into reporting." And I think based on what she was saying, her dad probably thought that I was going to tell her it was a terrible idea. And I was like, "You should absolutely do it. Absolutely. It's great. You should for sure do it." And she was like, "Oh, that's not what he thought you were going to say." And I was like, "Oh, well, it's pretty great. You can go to presidential inaugurations and Super Bowls and spring training and ride in an F-16.
That's not the norm. That's
not the norm, but it happens.
Did you prepare her for all the other stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
The thing is, here's the key about news or radio or whatever it is, like in that vein.
No, as it turns out, news and radio are nothing alike. So you can't make that parallel. They
are alike in that
night and day.
Hours are not the actual work. The hours that are involved. You work holidays, you work weekends, and you start out in a smaller market. You work your way up. That's typically how it's gone in both of those.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I was going to say something about TV, and you got me off track.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I think the most important thing for somebody going into it is having a realistic idea of what it entails, and not just being a star on TV. Perhaps you become one, but you have to have a passion for it. You have to really like news, and you have to really be interested in news, so that when you're not on the air, you're watching the news to find out what's going on. And because it at the beginning, it consumes your life.
Yeah.
But then you work when you're single and in some small town where you don't know anybody. That's the place to work hard and let it consume your life, because you're working hard to get out of there to get somewhere else where you're going to make some money.
Yeah, I did not give her a current event quiz because I didn't know her well enough, but I wanted to, because I wanted to say, if you don't watch news, you don't need to be in news. You know what I'm saying? We had a current event quiz every single day. And for people who are in news, who don't watch news, I don't get it at all. at
Well,
all.
they're not going to be in it forever because
Yeah.
you have to have a love for it. And then once it's in you, and it's tough
Yeah.
to get out. All right.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
were we? We digressed.
We are, this is you.
Yeah. This is a wild story. Did you hear about this? You probably did. The U.S. Surgeon General wants social media platforms to have warning labels on them, just like a pack of cigarettes does, or chew, or whatever. Surgeon General is asking the Congress to make warning labels mandatory, and they have to do it. You've heard the stats. Suicide or suicidal thoughts among teenagers climbed just as the amount of time they spend on social media per day does. Surgeon General wants a warning that alerts users to potential mental health harms of social media. And what's crazy is that this is a real life, real time experiment that we are all undergoing.
Yeah.
Not only in staring at a screen all day, what it does to your eyes and what a kid's eyes as they're developing, but also the mental health and emotional ramifications of what they're doing constantly these days, being online.
Yep.
So far, the experiment isn't going well. With you look at some of the stats, you hear some of the whistleblowers from social media talk about the things that they put in the apps or the websites to create this never-ending cycle, and the like thing, the psychological deal with the likes. It isn't good. It isn't good. I don't think society's
X
better
is doing
for it.
away with visible likes. Did you know?
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. So
they are for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I just know that I don't know as a society that we're better for social media. I think there are some positive things on it, but by and large, it hasn't been a net win for society. Right. So we'll see if that actually goes through. I think it has enough probably support among lawmakers in the Congress to be passed because there's not much to lose for them in saying yes, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's an easy one. The head football coach back here locally and head basketball coach for the Lady Bears are both very likely getting contract extensions. Football coach Ryan Beard getting a 5-year deal, landing him at $450,000 as they move into the new Conference USA. And Lady Bears basketball coach Beth Cunningham also getting 5 more years, landing her at about $405,000. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, both of them have some success, and the money goes up from there with more success. So there are metrics. Tomorrow it is Wednesday, which means it's time for the Fun concert near downtown Springfield. Be advised, concerts are typically at Founders Park every Wednesday at noon. But tomorrow, only for tomorrow, they have to move it to the downtown square. It's in what they call the CID Pocket Park because they have something else going on elsewhere. So it starts right at noon. Bring your lunch. Enjoy. The group playing tomorrow is called B-Sides. B-Sides.
Yeah, I like that. B-Sides.
Yes. Also tomorrow, the midweek matinee is happening at the Gilloys. The movie starts at 2:00. The Gilloys. Oh, yes. You're right. The Gilloys, Jeff would be proud. This week they are showing the film 1964 Viva Las Vegas, starring Elvis Presley and Anne Margaret. Yeah. Ticket and concession voucher combos are available. That includes a ticket to the film, a popcorn, and a drink. And then Greene and Christian County seniors 60 plus get a free combo ticket with proof of ID.
I love it. I've never seen Viva Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas for 5 years.
Viva Las Vegas.
I love the song, but I've never seen the movie. So, man, if I were just a little bit older, I'd head over there.
If you were a little bit older and you had time in your day.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. But, we went over, we met with Jeff and got to see the Gilloys, find out how it's pronounced. And what's cool is part of the reason why he does this, and he runs the Gilloys, is to create activities for seniors. My mom suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and he knows what that's like in a family. And the studies show that the more active a senior is, and the more things that they do, the more
and
of a
social
schedule.
time, like not just watching the movie, but before the
yeah.
movie starts, they have like games and stuff that happen like from the big
Right.
screen. So there's lots
Trivia.
of interaction. Yeah.
Trivia from their era, so they can think back, and it's all just very good. So having a schedule, having some set things to do, and having the social interaction really helps to ward off Alzheimer's disease and dementia. So that's a big part of the reason why they do it over there, and I think it's fantastic.
Yep. Head that way. Seniors tomorrow at 2:00.
You don't have to be a senior, though. You get in, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be a senior, but the doors open at 1, and they do play a lot of games before the show starts. So good times.
Cool. Yeah. Speaking
All
of
right.
games, don't you have a contest?
Yeah, we are still giving away Rolling Stones tickets. So check it out right now at aroundtheozarks.com. You can also listen to 104.7 and win tickets. But check it out because somebody's got to win them. And I mean, it's iconic. I don't know. I think that
The Stones,
even if you're
man.
not a huge fan, you might want to go see them.
Yep. Just to say you've seen the Stones in concert.
Just to say you've seen them. They have stood the test of time. So yes, check it out at aroundtheozarks.com.
Yep. Winning tickets is the best way to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow morning.
Yep. Have a great Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. We are talking about temperatures that are once again starting off near 70 degrees. So it is a warm start to your Tuesday. It is June 18th, and it's going to be another warm one in the Ozarks, but the heat backs off a little bit today. And the real story in the forecast today is going to be the wind that will be rather gusty. South wind 10 to 20 miles an hour, but gusting to 30 through the course of the day. So breezy. If you can catch some shade later on, it won't be as bad as it has been the last couple of afternoons if you've been trying to get outdoors. It's just been so hot, so humid. Today, definitely still hot with a high temperature in the upper 80s and feels like temperatures in the low 90s. Still feeling like summertime, but a little bit of improvement. And once again, today we will have the opportunity for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. About a 15 to 30% chance for some shower and thunderstorm activity today. Again, this is kind of the summertime variety where it rains. It could pour for a short period of time, but it's not going to rain all day. The shower and thunderstorm chances that I have in the forecast today are isolated at best. But once again, we have a high dew point temperature. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and any rainfall that gets going could mean some very heavy downpours as we go through the course of the afternoon. Really, the best chance for rain across the country today exists back up to our north and west, an area from portions of northern Kansas all the way through Iowa, Minnesota, back up through northwestern Michigan, expecting the severe weather today. Here in the Ozarks, we're really just talking kind of unsettled weather. There's also some really heavy rainfall heading toward the Gulf Coast. We won't get in on the severe weather chances, but I think we could have some heavy downpours, perhaps some gusty winds, but we will have a breeze around all day. It is going to be rather windy, so not the best day to do painting or anything up on a ladder. It is going to be rather breezy in the Ozarks today. Those winds coming to us out of the south. I have temperatures for the remainder of the week that stay in the 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. Another opportunity for isolated storms exists really each day this work week, and then heat and humidity build back in and kick in full force by the time we get to late in the week. I think temperatures are back into the low 90s as early as Thursday. We'll likely stay in the low to mid 90s for high temperatures on Friday. Heat and humidity full blast. And the rest of June is looking kind of hot. I've been looking at some of the different weather models available, and all of them signaling we have this warmer than average pattern for the rest of the month of June. So if you like the summertime weather, you are in luck, but this does mean heat, humidity, and probably turning down the rain chances a little bit as we head through the second half of the month of June. That would be all right because most of the Ozarks have seen excessive rainfall. We are still dealing with high water levels on area rivers and lakes. And now we are talking about drier conditions as we round out the rest of the month with above average temperatures that will be in place. A lot of things happening across the country. I already mentioned the heavy rain and severe thunderstorm activity, some of that ongoing in northern Minnesota this morning. We also have heavy rain and severe storms that are possible for the Central Plains to the upper Midwest. That's a section that I was telling you about from northern Kansas back up through parts of Iowa today. Then a heat wave is happening out for the Ohio River Valley, the Great Lakes region, and the Northeast. That's where we're going to see this big bubble of hot air really kind of develop and build over the next week or so. And it's looking like a heat wave for many of our friends up to the Northeast. We also have heavy rain happening on the Gulf Coast today, severe weather and buckets of rain possible for the Texas Gulf Coast. That's going to be going on today into Wednesday. And it looks like the Gulf Coast will still be seeing some heavy rain opportunities even as we head into Thursday of this week. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. This is what I left you with yesterday. By U.S. law, exit signs must be one of what two colors? And the options were A, green or red, B, white or red, C, green or white, or D, green or black. The answer is, if you were trying to think about the exit signs, red is probably a pretty good choice, but the answer is A, green or red. I feel like you see the green a lot less frequently than the red. I'm used to a red exit sign, but legally they could be green or red. They are generally both acceptable. Some states have adopted specific preferences for the color of exit signs in their state. If you are a business owner or you are wondering about emergency signs in, schools or places that you frequent, you can reach out to the local fire marshal or the inspector. It's a good starting point to ask questions on whether ones that you see are up to regulation, but they can be green or red according to law. Congrats if A was your guess. All right, here is the next chance to win $20 to Scooter's Coffee. Who is Barbie's little sister? Do you think it is A, Jamie, B, Steffi, C, Valerie, or D, Skipper? Let me know your guess. Don't look it up. That takes all the fun out of it. You can submit your guess over at aroundtheozarks.com. All you have to do is click on contest to enter. It is free to do so, and you could win $20 to Scooter's Coffee every single weekday here at Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. So thanks so much to Scooters and to Rescue Towing for sponsoring our podcast this morning. Hey, speaking of contests, there's another awesome one running at aroundtheozarks.com. Around the Ozarks, the law firm of Webster and Carlton, Brightspeed Fiber, and the Auto Parlor have your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Rolling Stones on July 21st at Thunder Ridge Nature Arena. It's going to be an amazing concert. All you have to do, listen to 104.7 The Cave for the keyword to enter for your chance to win tickets to the Rolling Stones, or you can enter also over at aroundtheozarks.com. So if you want to go see the Rolling Stones at Thunder Ridge for free, head on over to the website to find that contest. Thanks so much for listening this morning. I'll catch you again early tomorrow, and we will chat about the heat and humidity that are lingering in the Ozarks. Have a great one.